It's Dortmund.
Someone among us?
Well, we apologise for this break in the programme. We're doing our best to rectify the fault, and we'll be rejoining Blake 7 just as soon as possible. I'm glad to say the fault has been cleared. We're now able to rejoin Blake 7.
Didn't it? A temptation, you said.
Time to shirk. Look at this dust. I must, oh I must, remove every speck. This
Well, we're sorry about losing the programme. We'll return to Babushka just as soon as we can.
What are you talking about?
Well, we're sorry about this break in the film, especially at this critical point. We're doing our very best to rectify the fault, and we'll be rejoining the action just as soon as possible. Once again, our apologies for the break in the film. We have now transferred the film to another projector. This will take 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll rejoin the action just where we left it off. Meanwhile, we'll continue this music, but we will be back with the Time Travellers just as soon as possible, probably in about 2 or 3 minutes.
The answer to XB right there. They'll know it.
Friendliest people in the universe. It's paradise, my friend. Paradise.
Lieutenant O'Neill, where is he?
Paradise.
Well, I'm sorry, Star Trek seems to have disappeared into space for just a moment. In the meantime, a little music, and we'll hope to rejoin the programme just as soon as we possibly can. And now I'm pleased to say we're able to rejoin Star Trek.
A search party consisting of 2 Enterprise officers were sent to the planet below. Mr. Sewell...
Meet the other end of the bridge. I'll walk across.
Right.
We're very sorry about that. We've lost your film for you, but we'll return to it just as soon as we can. We're very sorry to have lost your film for you, but we'll be returning to it in just a moment. In the meantime, some music. Well, once again, I must say I'm terribly sorry to have lost the film for you, but we will be returning to it in just a few moments. In the meantime, we're playing some music. Well, now I'm happy to say we're able to return to Waterloo Bridge and Robert Taylor.
I was right, Thomas. It's tonight.
We're sorry that we've had to interrupt Discovering Birds. We're having a few technical problems, as you can see, but we'll be back to the programme.
Which looks at life in a typical Chinese community, Longbow. Through the eye of the camera, we can share in some of the most elaborate rituals.
Well, sorry about the break-up in sound for that little trailer, the purpose of which was to whet your appetites, if indeed they need whetting, for our series One Village in China, which begins on Saturday evening at 8:35, without the wow, we hope. Well, on we go with this evening, and you may like to know that on BBC One, in just a moment, there'll be more double dealings in Dallas, where, as usual, oil is certainly not well with the Ewings. Here on, too, a more realistic appraisal of American life as we meet some of those British girls who embarked on a romantic journey into the unknown when they married a Yank.
Well, we do apologise that Lassie seems to have run off somewhere, but we'll be back with Lassie as soon as we possibly can. Sorry about that, but here we are, back with Lassie.
We face the question of sport in half an hour, but before that, the question of a few bills for Tom and Barbara in the first of a series of The Good Life. Well, we're very sorry. That's a rather bad start, isn't it? What we'll do, obviously, is to work on things. The engineers will get things sorted as quickly as they possibly can, and we'll make a good start to The Good Life. In the meantime, we'll play some music. Well, we're very sorry that we made a bad start the last time for The Good Life, but this time it looks as though we could be in for a bit more luck. So here we go, the first of a series of The Good Life.
You're watching The Late Shift on Channel 4. With a bit of luck, we'll hopefully bring you the details of Baby Lawrence, the jazz-dancing hoofer. A few problems in obtaining Baby Lawrence to do his act. The Late Shift you are watching, due to start on its new regular slot of Tuesday nights. But it's having second thoughts about it, obviously. If you'll bear with us at this late hour of the evening, we shall attempt to bring you two items on The Late Shift. They are Baby Lawrence, who is a man who is well in tune with jazz, simply by moving his feet. A man who has had a bebop dance style and taught many. And after that, with any luck, keep your fingers crossed, around about 20 minutes to 2 o'clock, we'll take a look at After Hours, what happens in the jazz clubs of New York, a vintage jazz film which features performances by Coleman Hawkins, Roy Eldridge, Milt Hinton, and Cozy Cole, not forgetting the vocalist Carol Stebbins. So, as I say, keep your fingers crossed. You never know what might happen. I certainly don't.
Records about a British aristocrat's involvement with the Sioux Indians. Richard Harris and Judith Anderson star in A Man Called Horse. Well, I'm sorry, the action seems to have slowed down somewhat, in fact stopped on A Man Called Horse. We hope to get things back to normal just as soon as possible, if you'll bear with us a few moments. Just to reassure you, we are doing all we can at this moment to get the film back, and just as soon as we're able to, we'll be returning to it. Well, once again, let me just keep you informed that we are having to change machines to bring you the rest of this film. All will be well, we are told, in a few seconds' time, and just as soon as we go back to the film, as soon as it's running, we'll go back to it. Well, things seem to be much better now, except for Richard Harris, who's still having a fairly tough time of things. We rejoin the film just where we left it, nothing missed.
I can't help feeling we should give a private round of applause too for the brilliant work of the BBC team, both television and radio, all 40 of them, from truck drivers to producers. Conditions are far from easy for them in Leningrad. All of them will have some wonderful tales to tell when they get home about the broadcasting of this memorable but extremely complex operatic event.
Well, I'm very sorry we've had to leave that splendid production, which went so well that it should have been spoilt just to those last few seconds with those curtain calls. But there we bring to an end that production of War and Peace. Now, we shall be launching the 97th season of Promenade Concerts from the Royal Albert Hall on Friday with a live relay of the first night of the proms with stereo sound on Radio 3. Andrew Davis conducts a performance of Elgar's oratorio The Dream of Gerontius with soloist Florence Quivar, Keith Lewis and Willard White in the presence of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. That's at 7:30 on Friday night here on BBC Two.
Well, I'm very sorry we've lost our pictures from Sheffield. We're, of course, doing all we can to return there, and we will do so in as small a time as possible.
Well, sorry about that technical hitch. Back now to David Vine.
Sorry about that little hiccup between the mountains of Sheffield and wherever you are. Let me take you, so you don't miss anything, let me take you back. I was just taking you into frame 19 of this match between Stephen Hendry and Dean O'Kane.
So now, on BBC One, the second of tonight's Warren Beatty films. Julie Christie and James Mason co-star, and Heaven Will Just Have to Wait. Well, I'm very sorry we don't seem to have Heaven Will Just Have to Wait for the time being. In the meantime, some music. Well, once again, I'm very sorry that we can't at the moment bring you the film Heaven Can Wait. We are doing all we can to get it to you, but in the meantime, I'll continue with the music. Well, I'm awfully sorry. We still are having problems finding our film, Heaven Can Wait. We are doing all we can, and we'll be back to you just as soon as we can. Well, this is BBC One, and I'm very sorry that we're now unable to bring you the scheduled film Heaven Can Wait. So now, here's a short film called Timescape.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm sure, as you're aware, we're having a few sound problems with our film at the moment. We'll do our best to rectify those just as soon as we can and return you to the film. Well, hopefully now we've rectified our sound problem on the film and we can return you to She-Devil.
You're bitter.
So we seem to have a bit of a technical problem at the moment. Trying to deal with the problem, and we'll see what we can do as best we can. Well, I'm terribly sorry. We seem to be having a bit of a technical difficulty at the moment. We'll try and restore things as soon as we can. Please do bear with us. Well, once again, we do apologise for this technical problem we're having at the moment. We're trying to get the film back for you just as soon as possible, if you bear with us. Well, I'm sorry about that technical difficulty we were having there. I'm pleased to say we've managed to get the film back for you. So let's join Jack, all on his lonesome. Well, I'm really sorry about this problem we're having. We can't seem to be bringing you the sound for tonight's film. It's really near the end and the climax. We are going to do our best to get the film back online and sort the sound problem out just as soon as possible. Very sorry about this. Do bear with us. Well, I'm very sorry. We still are having a bit of a problem bringing you the sound for our film. We're doing our best to sort it out. In the meantime, I shall play some music. Well, as enjoyable as that music is, I'm sure you'll agree. I'm sure you'd rather see what happened at the end of the film. We think we've managed to sort the problem out now, so we'll try again. And Jack is still on his own.
Now it's story time. Well, sorry about that, but we seem to be having a few problems with story time. We're sorting out the problems, so we're doing all we can to solve the problem. Once again, we're having problems with our program Story Time. But in the meantime, while we're sorting them out, here's some music. Apologies once again, but now we can go to story time.
Well, I do apologise. We're doing all that we can to restore See Here to you. Well, I'm glad to say that we can now return to See Here.
Well, I must say I've heard of chalking 2 plants, but I never thought they'd start answering us back.
Now on BBC Two, Bill and Bernie put 3 on the number line. Well, I'm sorry about this, but we're having a bit of problem with the programmes at the moment. But don't worry, we'll sort it out as soon as we can and get the programmes back to you just as soon as possible. Well, I'm glad to say we can now go back to the programme. It's number time.
I'm racing down the number line. Sketches, songs, and don't play boots. It's all here.
Hello and good morning. It's Tuesday on BBC Two and we start the day with CBBC.
Hello, good morning. You're watching CBBC Two. It's so
a really
exciting
race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
to
was.
watch, it was great.
And a wonderful weekend of sport as well for the BBC, where we got a pretty.
Well, I'm sorry we seem to have lost our coverage of the derby. Do stay with us here on BBC One, and we'll hopefully return to Clare boarding as soon as we can.
Well, we apologise at home. We seem to have lost a connection between here at Epsom and London. I know that we've been away for a minute or two, but we're shortly going to go